Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Now, in this video, I'll be talking about how to analyze proposal documents or review documents that you receive from, let's say, a vendor, and you want to put in some points on that document and how to track and measure the points and how to close those points. So without further ado, let's just get into it. So let me just explain the scenario here. So if you are a client of company C, and let's say you received, let's say the client company C issued an RFP, which is a request for proposal, to vendor X, and then vendor X received or sent or issued a proposal to company C, right? So you as company C, as the client, you want to be able to review the proposal. So now company C client will review the proposal from vendor X and place their comments or feedback, right? So let's say maybe you guys have two different departments. Maybe you have project management department who is analyzing or has some comments and feedback, or maybe you have, like, let's say sales or marketing, and each of those departments have different people who are working there who are going to be reviewing the proposal and putting in their notes or their feedback points. So you want to be able to track and monitor each of the points and each of the feedback notes. So what's the most effective way? I'm going to share with you guys the method that I've been using for the last like 10-15 years in reviewing documents and managing projects and issuing proposals and managing different projects and reviewing comments. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Okay, so this is the document template. Basically, it's an Excel file, and this is, in my experience, was the best way that I've been using to monitor and track points or feedback notes or feedback point on a specific document, right? This is called the document feedback template, right? And this template allows you to capture every single point from the reviewer and how the author can submit their feedback on that specific point by point, and it gets closed. So let's just get into it step by step. So from the very top here, you put the document review title, which is that, let's say, for example, review for blockchain project proposal from vendor X, right, from company X, right? So you as a client, right, company C, you're going to be reviewing the proposal which you received from vendor X in this case, okay? Vendor X sent you the proposal and you want to be reviewing it. So here you put the document title, right, the name of the actual document, right? So let's say vendor X, say proposal, I don't know, 2022 Jan 02, for example, right? So you put the actual document title, if it's docx or PDF or whichever it is. Most of the time it's PDF actually. Okay. The author of the document, you put usually the vendor and then the name of the person who authored it or who created the document, right? In this case, let me just put here vendor X, example, Mike, right? And you put the issue date of the document, right? So it was 02 Jan 2022 of the document which you want to be able to review. Okay, and this is, you put the version number as well if you want. If it has multiple versions, you can put the version which is like 2.0 or whatever, which you can get from the actual document, from the proposal document. Okay, and next you go this section right here to be filled by the client, which is company C. You can put actually here company C as the client, and here to put by the vendor, which is X. Okay, And from this point forward, you actually, what you do here is you put the name of the person who is going to be reviewing. So review organization. So in this case, this is going to be client company C, right? The client, right? If the client had different departments, for example, you can put company C and then you can put, for example, marketing, right? So company C, marketing. Usually, most of the time it's already here. It's mentioned company C, but sometimes the company may have partners or local partners who are reviewing those documents, or maybe your IT is outsourced to a different company. So if your IT is outsourced to a different company, then you put the company of the IT outsourced company name, and then you put the author's name. Let's say here you've got John, okay? Or let's say you got like Catherine. Okay, so Catherine here is a person who's going to be reviewing from company C, and then here you put the chapter, section, or line information. So here, for example, if it's a chapter, or if it's section, or if it's like section 2.2, page 3, and then you put the actual paragraph and sentence. So you copy and paste the sentence. Just put a comment here. Copy. Paste the sentence from the actual document here. So what you do here is you actually copy, right? So you copy and paste the sentence here from the document, and that way the person reviewing this, he will know exactly what you are referring to. You don't want to just keep it section 2.3 page 3. It's not going to be very clear for the person reviewing the comment. So that way the person knows exactly what sentence or which paragraph or which comment you just copy it here. And then here you put your feedback notes. So for example, sentence was not clear about the roles and responsibilities on the infrastructure, right? So that way, now you have the reviewer, Catherine. She reviewed this specific section 2.2 on page 3, and the sentence is here, or the paragraph, the full paragraph is copied here, and then that's her comment, reviewer feedback. So Catherine's reviewer feedback is the sentence was not clear about the roles and responsibilities on the infrastructure part, for example, right? And she continues on here for every single point, right? So this is from a previous document that I got, page 5, section 4.1, notice of non-renewal. To prevent renewal of your license, you must give a written notice of non-renewal of at least 60 days before the end of the license. The reviewer feedback here is 30 calendar days notice would be provided, right? So we need to add, this is a question, or this is a point from the reviewer that they want to be able to emphasize, right? And this would make it very clear for the vendor to review every single point, and then for every single point the vendor's comment is going to be here. So as vendor X, for example, Mike is going to respond back, confirmed, the sentence is updated. The section is updated with the following. And then you put whatever was updated, for example, then page, section 2.2 page, whatever, 2, page 3, right? This will allow the person to know exactly what each point is referred to, and then the author's name, the person from vendor X is going to be reviewing every point, and then the status is open. I'll talk about what the status means just in a second. Once you fill, the reviewer fills every single point here, this part is going to be blank. Then you submit this document to vendor X. The vendor X will take 2 to 3 days to review every single point, place their updates for every single point here, and then you would have a meeting with the vendor, and then the vendor will guide you point by point on the document, and they will show you we updated this document on section 2.2 page 3, and this is the update. And then the person, Catherine, is going to say, yes, I agree, it's clear, and then the person will say the status is closed, which means this point is no longer open, it's now closed because you received agreements from both sides, the person who reviewed and the person who made the update as the author of the document. Now the point is closed, right? And you do the same thing point by point from every single point raised by the reviewer. And then that way, let's say if Catherine has like 5 or 6 points, the reviewer will, the authors from the document are going to go in the meeting, and they will discuss every single point that they updated, and they will show Catherine where the update was made, and then that will allow them to close every single point by point, right? Okay, this in my experience was very effective in managing reviewing on points by documents. It helps keep everything in track, and if you always want to go back and confirm, sometime what you will notice, the reviewer will say, no, this is not accepted, I have to check with my colleagues or with my manager. Then you put the status is still open, and then in the meeting minutes you would put awaiting confirmation from Catherine, right? You can put that in your minutes, right? So it's still awaiting confirmation. You can add a second column here, but it's going to be too tedious, so I would just put it in the meeting minutes that point number 1 from the document review will be confirmed by Catherine by X date, by January 10th or whatever, right? This way you still have it open. Once Catherine comes back with a full confirmation, then you can say, okay, now the point is closed, and you issue the new version of the document. The way you would save it is this. The way you would save the document, I'm just going to show you guys here. So you put like the document being reviewed, like proposal X, vendor X document doc review, and usually I put a date on the review. This will allow me to remember exactly, or to know which date it was confirmed on, just to keep track of what's happening on the communication, right? This would make things much easier. All right. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'm happy to answer them. I'm going to put a link on the description below for this template. You can download it on Excel. You can put it on your Google Sheets, and you'll be able to use it and let me know if it works out for you. I'll do another template probably with the like with multiple different tabs or sheets, and then one for vendor, one for client, right? And this way you'd be able to use it for if you're a vendor or if you are a client as well. Maybe I'll do a second video for a person who's a vendor and he's reviewing documents from a client, right? I'll explain the same thing, but it's just going to be reversed, right? It's going to be a reversed document. All right. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it, and let me know if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer them as much as I can, and I'll see you guys in the next video.